Alright guys, this is Brother Mikey. Those of you on the energetic forum and passing around this information to other places like over Unity, this is the split positive discussion. Now I'm showing you a couple of inverters right here. That's all it is. Oh, and I got my, can you see that? I got my watt meter in. See that? It's idling right now at 2 watts. This guy right here, the one on top, see the green light? Now the one on the bottom takes a lot, and I'm going to power a 100-watt light bulb with it for you. And I'm going to show you that on this amp meter. Let's see if I can get my light right. My light ain't doing too good. How about that? No, that's worse. How about that? Yeah. You can see that's 1 to 100. And this is a 5 amp scale back there. See that 5 amp scale? And there's the digital voltmeter right there. See, it says 1270. Now that's this pack. I just happened to paint these up with some real heavy paint and cellophane, the connections. And this is tar in between these. I got aluminum bus bars. Alright. Whether that matters or not, I'm just telling you what it is. And this is my tabs on the end. Okay, so I'm not showing you this yet. I want to unhook. Now, you'll see the light went out, okay? I want to explain some things first about this watt meter. Now this watt meter, it has 4 wires, a red and a black, and that's what you hook to the battery, all right? And then I have a green and an orange, which is red and black, that goes to the inverter over here. And this goes to this little inverter, and I put little shields on it so the gator clamps don't get exposed. But basically, I would like to do a brief explanation for those of you who don't know what the watt meter is like. And I just recently tried it myself. They're only $8. Let's see if I can zoom in and have this thing not blurry. Thing looks crooked today. Here, let me get this. There it is. No, I thought I could get that in a little. There. Huh. Hang on a second. This thing won't stay put. But anyway, hang on. I've got to tighten something. Now, the watt meter is just like the one that Luke is using on there, and Luke disappeared. I think he has to work for a living like the rest of us, and we're having a slight intermission, I'd say, for the least part between now from then and so all we have right now with Luke is that it doesn't work. All right, and I'm getting really sick and tired of hearing that on the web. Oh, it's just, you know, all explainable. Now I know that Luke knows better than that. But right now, with the deafening silence, that's what everybody's thinking. Okay, let's see if I can draw you a picture of anything. Like the meter that Luke had, the watt meter, is like this. It has a window. Yeah, you can see that. And it has a red wire in the middle and a black wire. So that's red and black. And then there's another red wire that's the load. And another black wire that's the load, like where you put your light bulb. Can you see that? Let's see, yeah, I'm out of the picture there. Let's get it zoomed out. And it's so blurry. I got too much light in here. So that's pretty much a lost cause. You can't see that. All right, so I wanted to show you more about the, here, let me start over. And let me zoom in the camera a little better. All right. Maybe I can bring this board over here. And then you can see it better. All right, now. Let's try it there for a second. All right. Let's see if we can get it inside this square. Can you see that square? Not really, huh? I guess there's just too much light to see these eraser boards. It's pretty wild. I thought I could see better. Well, evidently not. So we have these watt meters like so, and there is a plus and a minus and another plus and a minus here, what we got. And then it has the digital readout here like that with your watts or whatever. And so you put the battery here, and then you put your light bulb to these outer ones. And that's as easy as it is. But instead of doing that, I wanted to show you the conventional way. All right. Now let's see if you can see the setup on that stand. You can. You can see it. But I'm going to take it down because in order to see the amp readings and the volt readings, okay? And we'll be powering this, and again, I'm going to have to take it down so you can see what I'm doing over here because it's too big. And that's all the way out. I'm learning to film, but I only have so much time and energy to do this. Okay, now these are the 2 amp things I'm using, amp meters. One is 0 to 100. Can you see that? Yeah, 0 to 100, and the other one is 0 to 5. Right there. So when you look at that one, that's 5 all the way over to the right. And you look at this one, it's 100 all the way to the right. And I know you can see it now. And then your digital voltmeter. Now what I want to do is I want to get rid of this, and I want to use the big one. Now the big one takes quite a bit of power to idle. But remember, in the C range, that this is only good for about 600 or 800 milliamps for each battery, and this is a 12 volt battery. They're all tied together, and I'm going to do 2 more of these here and two here. So I'm going to have this pack, which is a 12, will be a 12 volt, all tied together, and this pack 12 volt, and then that'll make 24, and then we'll have another pack over to the right here. But right now I just wanted you to see the load checks, the load testing. Now we're going to take out this 9 watt bulb, which is an LED bulb, and this is some of the other corncob bulbs that I have, and this is a 100 watt light bulb. All right, so we'll put that in there, and I want to power up the big one and show you a reading, and show you basically that this is not proper. All right, here's my black, and this can go on the 100, and this is my red, and I got it all turned off. Let's see if we can get that better. Okay, now the amp meter is here, the 100 amp, and this is what will be now that's the idle. You can't see the idle on that 100. See it? I'll turn it down. Now I'll turn it, I turned it off. Now watch me turn it back on. Ready? See it jump a little? It runs about a half amp, I believe it is, and I'll show that to you. Okay, now let's turn our 100 watt light bulb on. Here it goes. Whoops, we better plug it in, huh? This is the cord to that lamp right there. And let me plug that in for you. That's kind of hard to plug in. Okay, now we'll turn it on. See the green light? Here's the light, and it'll probably be blinding to the camera. So we'll point this down. It's really blinding, right? And this is our reading now on our amp meter. Now that's drawing about 10 amps right there. Let's turn that off a second. I can't focus this camera. Frustrating to work with, to do filming with not understanding many issues of the light, but I'm trying my best here. There. Now there it's 10 amps, right? A little less, and that's too much. Okay, the pack is only supposed to be 3 amps max, somewhere around 3 amps to be within the C20 or C22 range. So we can't exceed that. That's too much, guys. If you're running, most people run that though. They have a battery pack that costs them $100, $200, $300, $400. They figure, hey, I got to be able to run an LED light bulb. Wrong. That's not the C20 right there. That's exceeded it by 3 times right there. Okay? Now let's turn that off. And let's go over to this meter. Now we're not going to plug the 5 amp gauge into that one, into this light bulb, so we don't want to burn it up, right? So let's unscrew this old hot bulb, and yikes, that's hot. And let's get one of these. All right. By the way, I have a fluorescent light right overhead, 4-foot tubes, and that's hard to film with those fluorescent tubes. Okay, now here is, let me switch. You can't see the idle current anymore. Let me turn it off. I'll turn this off. Then I'll switch my gator to this one right here. Now it's on the 5 amp. Now watch the 5 amp gauge. That's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See it peg it almost? Starts up and it runs a little under half amp, like 4,500 milliamps. I'm sorry, 450 milliamps. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the LED light, the 9 watt. See it there? Now let's do it again. There it is idling. And then it goes up to 1 point, little under. But see how hard that is to show on camera? It's 1.3 or something like that, or 1.4 amps. I will turn that off, and then I'll show you the other inverter. and also the watt meter, and show you how much easier it is to run this demo with a watt meter. So we'll unhook this. I was supposed to turn that off first. Okay, I turned it off, and we're getting rid of the big inverter, and we're going to bring up the little one. Now, when I ran the little one before with a Cob Light, it flickered like a piece of junk, and I thought, wonder what's wrong. Okay, so I'm going to put it back in there and show you. And here's the inverter. I'm running the inverter not through here right now. That inverter is much less. It's a smaller inverter. The idle is much less. And I'm running it through this. Is a digital meter, which is a watt meter, and it's only $8. But it's so much more convenient. Now watch how easy this is to demo. Here is my input gators, my black and red, and I've already got the load gators hooked to this right here, to the inverter, right? Okay, so let's get back here and hook this up just any old place on there, and I'll have to get it around there, and I'll show you what the watt meter looks like. Now it's idling. See the green light? And the gauge is on. Hey, look at that. Can you see that gauge? Look at that. Isn't that a lot nicer? I'll have to work it so you can see, but there. Isn't that a hell of a lot nicer? The demo? That's 12.75 volts. And this one reads 12.67 volts. So you got me on that one. I've got another meter over here. There's a 0.75 and 0.19 amps and 2.4 watts idling. Okay, there it is. And now we'll turn on the corn cob. Now look at this junker just flicker away. Whoops, I did it again. I gotta plug it in here to this other one. Alright, now it's plugged in. Now the cord is plugged in to the light. You ready? Now look at that light flicker. Can you see that thing? It just flickers and flickers and flickers all over the whole room. And it may settle down a little bit. But those corn cob lights are really cheapo, and they don't like inverters. Okay, point went up from like 0.2 to 0.747, and there's the voltage drop. I got 6 watts rolling out of there. All right, let's just unhook that silly corn cob. I don't like those flickering lights. Here's our 2 corn cobs, and let's put a 9 watt instead of 7 or 6. Let's put a 9 watt in there, and let me screw that in there. There. Now look at your watts. You got 11 watts there. Let me turn this light out of the way. See the light there? Let me get this thing pointed the other way. You can see it's pointed up in the room. Okay, so the watts. 0.9 amps. 1268. See that? Look at the volts, 1268, right? Well, over here it says 1262, so it's getting closer under load. These 2 meters are just a few micro points out there, milli points or whatever. A few small points out. Okay, 11 watts. So that's great, huh? You can see that, and it's cheap, and anybody can have. So anybody can have an ongoing measurement while they're in progress on their experiments and their video demos. It's kind of nice. See if we can can't really zoom in on it very well. I was hoping for a better resolution. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, so 1260 here. Now look what happens when I load that big battery bank with, now we'll shut this one off. We'll unhook the watt meter and the little one, which showed 11 watts or so. And we'll go back to the big one. And I want to show you the wrong way. Alright? Some of you don't understand the C20 rate. The wrong way with the C20 rate is to load this battery up too much. So now I'm going to load it up. I'm going to put it on the 100 amp again. Okay. And there's going to be our light here. There's our light again. See it? And our amps. You can barely measure our amps right there. See, I'll turn it off and I'll turn it on. See it go up a little? Alright, well, that's with the 100. Now, let's put the, and what I wanted to show you was the volts. See how the volts are? Now I'm going to put my 100 watt light bulb in here. I'm going to put it right back in here again. Okay, I got a 100 watt light bulb, right? I'm going to turn it on. Now watch the amps. See the amps go right up? And the big light's on, right? And look at the voltage. That voltage is going to drop right out here in no time. We can run that a couple of minutes and that'll be right down to 12.3 in a few minutes. You're not going to get no 20 hours out of that. That's the wrong way to run a battery. Excuse me. 12.3, it's going to be, it'll go down to 12.2 in just a few minutes from now, which I don't want to do. But I want you to see that it does load up nice. The packs are good. They load up nice, and they can handle, you know, more than they need to handle for the experiment. And they're pulling 10 amps right now. And there's your volts on it, if I can get past the glare. Alright, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you, except I made a mess out of all this glare. This incredible glare. So I'm going to turn it back off. There we go. There is the amp meter. Just a little under 10 amps. That's not good. That's not a C20 rate for those batteries. Now these are deep cycle batteries. They're really good ones, and you don't want to abuse them. If you're going to follow this experiment, you want to stay within the C20, meaning that the amps that you pull out of there, and each one of these is a 16, so figure 14, 14, 14, and 14. It would be like a 50 some, maybe a 55 amp hour battery right there, a true deep cycle now. And see the voltage bounce right back up again? It's off. Everything's turned off. If you treat these batteries right, they'll go a long time. Okay, so that's mainly what I wanted to show you, and we'll have to get back to the board here some other time. I can't seem to see anything with this eraserless board. I don't like that. I need a bigger marker or something, and the light needs to be different. I have a chalkboard that worked better than that. So now we'll hook our meter back up. Now we got our little one here to hook back up. I'm just showing you the preliminaries of what I'm going to be doing here. What I'm doing, I'm checking amp loads. Here's the little inverter again, and I'm running it through the watt meter now, which is this one and this one. This one goes to the red over here, and then the split positive will be something completely different. Here's the red one right there. This is just showing you the basics of reading and measuring battery. Alright, there's your idle. Your idle is 2 watts, 2.4 watts at 1273, and this says 1266. And then we'll turn the LED light on, which is this again, and we'll point it away. And we'll probably be running this test. There's our light, see it? And there's our amps and watts and everything. Isn't that cool? It's 11.4. Now turned off. Or I just turned it off. Now it drops down and calculates everything. But just while we've been talking, it's burnt 2 watt hours. And like Luke pointed out, you just reach over here on this right side and push, and it should. Oh, I just think I just turned the light off. I haven't used this enough. Yeah, there's the light, and I guess you got to push and hold it, right? Let me see if I can do that. Just push and hold it, and then yeah. And then you do it again, maybe? Well, I guess I don't know how to do that yet. So I'll just unhook it for a second, then hook it back, and then it probably resets itself. Nope, I didn't learn to reset it yet. Okay, so there you're getting the idea, and so am I. 2.2 watts of idling. See the plug in the green light on the little one? So that's probably the one I'm going to be using. I'm probably going to be using the small inverter. Oh, my light's out. That's what it is. There's my light. They got a light on that too. You can turn the light on and off on that digital screen. That thing is so cool. It's got a processor in it and everything. Okay, now we turn the light on, and there goes your watts again. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. We'll probably be running about 11 watts, or the equivalent of what one of these batteries can handle. All right. So we'll be sure we'll have run time, extra run time to play with it. Because I want to run these 2 packs in series and a third one, and then we'll do split the positive. And I'll come back with some booster hookups for you in between. We'll get the split positive hooked up first though. And we'll use the bigger, better non-flickering bulb.